the record button and pinning Bill for all to see. Coach, less than 24 hours, we tip off the season against Seattle in a WNBA Finals rematch. What is sort of the thoughts about the team heading into tomorrow's game and the tip-off of the season?
Yeah, clear as mud. Training camp, this year has been very interesting and difficult. Not being able to have guys put a lot of pressure on, the conditioning part and getting organized, and it's been a struggle. Players coming and going, not getting Chelsea Gray till the last week. Liz has some in and outs. Chemistry is going to be a working process for a long period of time. Our players know it. We know it as coaches, and so we're going to have to muddle our way through it in the first part of the season. But we still have a very talented team, and hopefully we can get a few wins under our belt. But our schedule at the start of the year is pretty difficult, so we're going to give it our best shot coming out. I think we're ready to play. Whether we have the wherewithal to get the job done, we're going to remain to be seen. I'm worried about some things like, we're on the road now for the first time, and the road is a very, very difficult place to be under this draconian restrictions that the league has upon us. It's just, you can't do anything. You're not allowed to go outside. You can't eat in the restaurants. An example, this hotel doesn't have any restaurant to have breakfast in the morning, nor do they have room service in the morning for our players to get in to eat before we go play the game. So all these things like that for the road team is going to be a little bit of a struggle, but we all are resilient bunch, and we all are in for each other. So we're going to pull each other through this one. But I'm looking forward to it. I think our players looking forward too. I think we had a good practice today, a lot of energy today. I think they want to get out there and see what they have. And we play back to back in Seattle, so it'll be a pretty good test for us. But tomorrow is opening day on national television, and that's why we're here, and that's why we played the game.
All right, let's go to Willie G.
Hey, Bill, I know you've mentioned a couple of times, maybe after the first week of training camp, then on media day, just ins and outs about Destiny. I'm working on a story for her hometown paper, and I'm not sure if I'll have time.
You paid the big bucks, huh? I see.
Yeah, I got to do what I got to do. It's under these same conditions. But I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have after the game tomorrow to feed them some quotes for a Sunday feature. So I'm just curious, her progress over, now that you're at this point, if she's earned the quality minutes, if it's still a experimental, you got to see where she's at under that pressure. Just an overall assessment on what you've seen from Destiny.
Asia, shake your head yes or no whether Destiny is a keeper for us right now. Okay. She started slow because she's a rookie, didn't know what was walking into, and all of a sudden she walks into players who are 6'9", 6'4", 6'6", and clog and they're fast as she is. So it was a great eye opener for her in the first 3 or 4 days, and it was like she was a deer in headlights, obviously, for a cliche. I talked to her a little bit. Just be you. Don't be. She's not afraid. And I think that's a really good trait for any professional athlete. Is she's not afraid. She got out there and does what I told her, just do what you do. And if it's not good enough, well, then you gave it your best shot. So she shoots the shots when she's open. And, after the first few days, they started to go in. Okay, that's bigger positive there too. Leading the show, learned how to do that also because she had to learn the players. But overall, I think that she's actually pretty ready to go. She's grown a lot in the last maybe 4 or 5 days that she thinks she belongs. And she's out there in today's practice. She was really good, running around 1,000 miles an hour, making a second unit go. Second unit beat the crap out of our first unit, which is great. It's a good confidence builder. I know Ada's going to shake her head, but it's true. She's going okay. A player like this is always going to be under the gun. She's not going to be a tremendous starter in this league, so her position will always be called into question. But I think she has what it takes to be in this league for an extended period of time. Now, that may be 2 years. It may be 5 years. It's the future's unclear for her. Depends on her.
Two things that stood out from media day. One was when Asia mentioned how she walked into the trainer's room one day with the whiteboard and the playbook and just that willingness to learn. And the other thing, Destiny had said that she really appreciates the no BS, straightforward, candid talk from you in terms of, because she knows immediately what you want from her and she knows what she needs to get done. There's no sugarcoating anything. Have you seen that, or how much have you appreciated that willingness to learn from a rookie?
Well, if you don't have a willingness
Or
to
have
learn,
you seen that?
unless you're overly talented, you ain't gonna last more than 5 minutes. The league is too good. They're too strong. They're too big. They're too fast. They're too talented. So if you come in a position like she was, second round pick, who most second round picks get cut right away. You come in like that with an attitude of not learning how to play. The coach isn't going to have any time for you, and you're gone. So that's for any rookie coming in. If they were to just listen and implement, like Lauren Manis did, she played, really hard and played well and listened. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make this team, but she surprised everybody with how she played. So, yeah, it's Destiny has a good attitude. Now, whether it all translates in the future, well, that's how we play the games.
Holly?
Hey, Coach, I was just curious where you're practicing in Seattle with the games being like almost an hour away. I was curious where you flew into, where you're staying, and where you're practicing.
That's a good question because we had no clue what we were walking into. We decided that we're here for 6 nights. And we decided that the best place for our players would probably be in Seattle itself. So we're here, we're at the Sheraton. There's no breakfast, there's no room service until you have dinner. The restaurant's closed for dinner. It's very difficult. This is actually in many, many ways much more difficult than the bubble. And the players, if you're not fully vaccinated, you can't leave the hotel, you can't eat inside, you could try to eat outside in 50-degree weather. And the team is penalized. If your team's not fully vaccinated, you're penalized there also. So the rules are very draconian when you go on the road. But here in Seattle, tomorrow is going to be easy. It's a Saturday. So a 45-minute bus ride's a long time. On Tuesday night with traffic, we're being told that's going to be an hour and a half. That's unacceptable. So we may have to change hotels, go into a Motel 6 or something like that, which the other team hotel they have us in. That's, it is what it is. You have to deal with it. And hopefully you make the best of it. But like I said, this is very difficult. We've experienced it in LA with their game presentation was all over the map. And the music was playing in the locker room so loud you couldn't even hear yourself think. So I think the league has to get their act together too in many ways. Because right now in this preseason and now in the regular season, this is going to be just, it's going to wear the players down, basically. It's just going to be so hard to manage. It's just going to be tough. But that hopefully answer your question. We're in downtown Seattle right now. And
Where did you practice today?
We practice at all the little banners.
Seattle Pacific.
Yeah, well, Pacific.
Seattle Pacific.
Oh, yeah, I know that
Okay,
place,
which
yeah.
is good. It was only 15 minutes away. Yeah, it was fine. It was great. No practice, no problem. But going to the arena from here is going to be challenging, especially when we have to leave like at 9 o'clock in the morning and we don't get a chance to eat any breakfast. It's going to be hunger fatigue in the game is what I worry about.
I mean, I'm nearby, and I really would bring you guys food if you get desperate. So let me know, JP, and I can.
Hey, raising both hands.
I'll help you.
Okay.
I'll have brunch there for you.
As long as it's not soggy when it comes, it's all soggy and everything is, it's just, yeah. Okay.
I'm on it.
Anne Marie?
Bill is picky, Holly, on whether or not it's soggy or not. So make sure, I guess, that it has to be completely on point. Bill, for Jisoo, what's been the biggest improvement for her, and how do you see her role this year for Jisoo Park?
Biggest improvement is confidence. We told her that when she went away from 2 years ago, that she has to improve her confidence. 2 years ago, when she miss a shot or get a shot blocked, she put her head down and affect the next 3 plays. I told her coming in here, just play like you're the best player in Korea, like she is. She's by far the best player ever in Korea, and was kicking everybody's butt. Come here, dude, and do the same thing. What's really interesting to watch is she goes against Liz Cambasia every day. So she's really learning how to get her shot off of Liz easily, which is difficult. So that's a great thing for her to play against Liz every day. She's very confident, and I expect her to play a significant role for us coming up in this season.
Jesse?
Hey, Bill. Aside from the obvious of a win, you said it's clear as mud, but what are you looking for in this first game against a team that you guys played in the finals last year?
Play hard. take care of the basketball. We had a little problem in the preseason with turnovers that have really affected, we scored 80 plus points a game, but we had 20 plus turnovers in both games. I think Seattle doesn't turn it over very much. So I think if we can get our turnovers down, we have a really good chance. If we go 20 plus turnovers in this game tomorrow, then we're going to really struggle. And I think that's number one. Number two is rebounding. We're a pretty solid rebounding team. They're not a very big offensive rebounding team. So if we give them offensive rebounds, they're freebies. We can't do that. And then tomorrow's going to be a transition game for both teams. We want to push the pace, and watching them on tape, they want to push the pace. So it's going to be up and down. It's going to be a high-scoring game, is my opinion, unless we all shoot like crap. So, yeah, it's going to be an entertaining game. Whether whoever plays the best defense might have a better chance to win. But I think we're an inside team. They're an outside team. So let's see, test the wills.
Cool. Thanks, Bill.
All right, let's go to Sam Gordon.
Hey, Bill, have you decided on who's going to replace Angel in the starting lineup?
Yes.
We're going to have to wait till tomorrow.
Well, they probably already had their practice. So no, it's going to be Raquina Williams. I really like Kelsey Plum coming off the bench to play multiple positions and to give our bench our second unit a person who can play make for them out there. But I decided on that before Angel got hurt, and I looked at it and Kelsey will agree. To her credit, she knows that her responsibility, her role, and for also with her being selfishly speaking for her, she gets to have the ball in her hands more, which she loves. That's who she is. So she loves to dominate the basketball in the second unit. She'll have a good opportunity to do that, as well as score, which she loves to do that too. So I think, and lead, and I think all the above, coming off the bench in multiple positions, whether she comes in the lead guard, the two guard, and then move to the lead guard. It's a good home for her, and her and Dearica, I think, are going to compete for 6 Women of the Year.
And to follow on that, how can Raquina with her shooting? I mean, how do you anticipate her affecting the geometry of the floor with the starters?
Well, you don't leave her. You leave her and she gets hot. Well, you're got a big problem because she's going to go drill about 3 or 4 times in a row, and timeout. So it'll help us in spacing for our bigs. They won't be able to double off of her. So I think that's going to be a difficult task for their team. And quite frankly, I'm surprised with her passing. She's able to penetrate and make really good passes. You don't see that until you see it in practice, because you never see it in a game because she never has that opportunity. But watching her in practice over the course of time, I think that she's a solid basketball player. She works really hard on defense, and I think there's going to be a huge positive for us this year.
Yeah, and then last one from me. Not sure if you had the chance to see the documentary that aired on ESPN last night, 144, and then whether you have or haven't, just knowing that it aired the night before the season, and kind of all eyes were on the W and what the players experienced and the coaches experienced last year. How important do you think it is for the league to get that kind of exposure leading in opening weekend?
I did not see it yet. I think the players are going to have a viewing party at some point here, I believe. I have not seen it yet, but this year there's going to be multiple TV shows and radio shows and blog shows and all stuff like that to brought the WNBA, because it's fashionable right now, and rightfully so. And so it's the hardest part is it's going to be the time requirements from the players like in Asia, who are going to be pulled in every direction throughout the course of the season to do this and do that. And of course they want all the best players on these shows. They want, and it's just going to wear the players down. So one of my tasks is to kick John or Jiggy in the butt every day, to make sure that, no, we're not doing that. No, she's not doing that. And I know I get personal branding, but at the same time, it's still about team basketball. So I think that's what's going to be one of the biggest headaches I have this year, is managing all the requests for our players. And they're going to wear them down. I'm not going to allow that to happen to a point. I get it, but at the same time, I want to win basketball games.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, Bill, we will let you go and bring
Wonderful.
up Asia
Man, I can't
Wilson.
listen to Asia talk. I may still
You
hang
can.
out.
Would you like to ask Asia the first question?
No, I'm just lurking in the background. Or I'm going to get something to eat because I can't eat breakfast.
Yeah.
That's
go
probably
eat.
what I'll do. I'll go get a rest to the restaurant.
Oh, look at my
restaurant.
hair.
Something for lunch here, by the way. Only for lunch. And so I got to go eat something. I'm out.
Thanks a lot,
Bye,
Bill.
Bill. Bye, Bill.
I'm working on it. Shut up, Asia.
Technology.
Gotta
is
love it,
fun.
right?
No doubt. All right, let's get things started with Asia Wilson. Pepper Pursley.
Hi, Asia. It's great to
Asia.
talk with you. So I was just wondering, not being able to fully see how the Storm is going to play this season, how do you really prepare?
How do I prepare? I mean, I just take it all in stride, honestly. I don't try to change up anything. I trust the work that I've did in the off season, and I trust my teammates and what we've done in training camp, and just go with that. I can't really make up a lot of things. I don't want to overthink a lot of situations because half the time they probably won't even end up that way. So I'm just going out there having fun. Glad we're back in season. Glad we're not in the bubble anymore, and going with that. I'm just loving the vibe right now around the women's game for sure.
Thank you. Good
Yeah, no
luck.
problem. Thank you.
Miss Holly Rowe.
Hey, Asia. Curious what you did. I mean, I feel like you had a busy off season, but I wondered what you were doing from a training and physical standpoint to stay ready when you don't go play overseas like some of the other players do.
Yeah, well, last year during quarantine, I invested in getting a tonal. It's like the mirror
Oh,
thing.
yes.
It's a tonal machine, and I got one of those, and that has kept me in probably the best shape that I've ever been. Just from a cardio standpoint, yoga standpoint, just strength standpoint, all of that in one, and it's in my garage. So I didn't even have to be around different people in different places. So it was super safe for me, and I loved it. It's kept me in shape. We have different programs on there. It's just a great thing to have. And on top of that, I also go train at Impact, which is like Hoop City in Las Vegas. And they absolutely get me right. Shout out to Mike and Joe. They did their thing, constantly giving more things, adding more things to my bag, as we always say. And that's what I love the most. But I've had a ton of fun this off season. A lot of different things. A lot of things are in motion, and I'm just ready to play.
What did you add to your bag?
What did I add to my bag? So it's funny because last year after the season, I've always talked to, Tanisha, our assistant coach, and she's like, the biggest thing that you have to do is learn how to work in in a small space. And for me, the biggest thing that I've really focused on is knowing how to function with one or less dribbles. If I get 2 dribbles, I'm kind of pushing it, but that's absolutely a case of emergency. So for me, it's knowing how to generate in a small amount of space and seeing what this defense gives me and going from there, but not always putting the ball on the floor, not always trying to pound, go. So that's my biggest thing that I'm super excited to kind of see in our offense and go from there.
Will you be irritated if I do one more quick one just for the game? Speaking of a small amount of space, Liz Cambage, like you guys want the same space on the floor sometimes. How are you going to work together? What are some of those conversations been like from a spacing standpoint?
No
Thanks,
idea.
everybody, sorry.
No idea what the space is gonna look like. We're not gonna know until, because I mean, we play with our teammates and they're like, we know exactly where they are, and it's just like you're going through the motions and it's just a drill. So we're really not gonna know until tomorrow, and then it's gonna change up every single different opponent that we have. So we do have our conversations where it's like, I'm not gonna get in your way if obviously I see you working, but if you're in trouble, I'm gonna be that outlet there for you, and vice versa. So I have no idea to talk about the space team. We're going to see how this goes. Maybe Liz will jump on here after me and give you the answer to that. But I don't know. I don't know until I'm in it and I get a feel for it. But I mean, we're professional basketball players. We know how to just kind of make room for each other and go from there.
Anne Marie.
Hey, Asia, you were listening in on Bill, and he was talking about the requests that are coming your way. All the demands that are coming your way, and you've got that reputation as the nice player, the nice woman too, and you got to say no. So how are you balance those two things? How good are you at saying no?
I've gotten a lot better, honestly. I have gotten a lot better. I think I get that from my mom more than anything. If I look like my dad, but I get my attitudes from my mom 100%. But, I have people like Jiggy and my agent Jade that really make sure that I'm not overwhelmed with things. But at the same time, if I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. Like, it really sucks. I hate to turn down people, and I try to get everyone involved as much as I can, but I don't want to stretch myself out too thin, because then I get back into my hole and I have to focus on myself, especially during this time. So it's tough, but I have a great circle around me that makes sure that I'm doing the big things that I need to do.
Perfect, and they can say no. And then a follow-up, we saw your facial expression with Destiny Slocum.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of us are very familiar with her game. Wondering what your opinion is and how you've seen her progression even in the last 2 weeks from
Yeah.
Slocum and what you hope for her.
Yeah, she's like Bill was saying, it was kind of like you could see it in her face, and she's like, oh my gosh, I am not in college anymore. And I don't think I've ever had that. I've never really experienced it, honestly. So to see it now with our rook, it's just like, oh God, like, it's okay, like, you're good, we got you. So she's taking it all with a grain of salt, and I can really appreciate that. She's a quick learner. She doesn't back down from anything. KP gives her probably one of the toughest times of her life. I'm like, KP, like, lay off, but I know she means well, but she still handles it. She may get knocked down, but she stands back up, and she's like in it and running the team. So I can greatly appreciate that from a rookie, especially from her standpoint of being the point guard. Like, that's tough. She doesn't have to just know her position like we have to. She has to know everyone's position and make sure that they get there. So she's doing a great job so far. We haven't had too much rookie hazing. Hopefully deeper into the season, we might start some things, but she's really cool.
Can't wait to see it all come together. Thanks.
Right.
Jesse?
Hey, Asia, I kind of asked Bill about, the fact, like he said, clear as mud. I'm just curious for you going into this first game, with, you noted the fact that there are so much uncertainties going into it. What are you expecting out of this first game here?
I couldn't even tell you, honestly. I think we're just all so ready to get out there and play that we're just going to go with the flow. I know for sure for us, we really have to take care of the basketball. Like, that's my biggest thing. Is I know it's not going to be clean cut basketball on the Aces side. Probably not. We're still trying to figure out how we all work in this system. But at the end of the day, I think we have enough talent. We have enough people that they're good at what they do. So if push comes to shove, put the ball in any of our hands and we can make something work out of it. But what do I expect? I have no idea. I'm really just going out there. I feel like I would sound really unprepared, but I am. I promise I am. I'm locked in. But at this point, I'm just like, let's just play. Like, throw the ball up and we're going to see how this goes.
And you kind of mentioned it too, talking about Plum, how she's kind of been on Destiny and everything like that. I'm just curious, like, having her back, like, what do you gain in even just her mindset or her personality on the team?
Right. We gain a huge spark, like a huge bang. Like, that's just KP. She's nonstop. She's constant, always looking to be better, always looking to get you better and get people involved. She's going to get her shots up. We know that, but she's constantly looking to move. She picks up our pace a little bit. And so it's good to have her back because it's not like we were looking sluggish, but she definitely brings that pace and momentum that we need.
And last question, Sam Gordon.
Hey, Asia. I know Bill had mentioned that the players probably going to have a watching party for the doc, but have you seen it yet?
Yes.
And just what were your thoughts?
I cried. I cried at multiple points. In all honesty, my MVP story was the first time I actually saw it because, like, I was bawling my eyes out. I had my face in my shirt, so I didn't see any of those things happen. So to see it, I looked like a crybaby on national television, but hey, that happens every year with me. But it was just truly amazing just to see it, like, be brought to life. Like, I was literally like, Last Dance, like, when's the next episode dropping? Like, I wanted more storytelling. I wanted more in a way that's not just off of our social platforms. Like, it just was like really clean and cut, and just seeing Miss Palmer on there and like bringing up Breonna Taylor and Say Her Name campaign. It was just like, it was just crazy. Like, it's so hard to put into words how powerful it really was. So the bubble, it was tough, but to see it shine that light on it, it definitely meant a lot. So I teared up a bunch of times. We laughed. We did everything all in one. So it was a great production. Like, shout out to Shanae for that, for sure.
All right, let's switch it over to Liz Cambage. Asia, thank you very much.
I'm going to eat. Bye.
And we will start things off with Holly.
Hey Liz, good to see you back. Cannot wait to watch you play tomorrow in person. What are you the most excited for the season? You know, you've been gone for a while and now you're back and reinvigorated. Tell me what you're the most excited about.
I'm just excited to have another opportunity to play with the girls and another summer with Bill.
I heard a Zoom you were on where you were talking about playing pickup. I guess it was pickup or training with some NBA guys. What were some things you felt like you added to your game and you will come back kind of better in a more versatile role?
My footwork's gotten crazier. Like my touch is still some of the best in the league. So, and I've been playing with big boys. So it's kind of frustrating that I feel like I don't really get to play to my strengths in this league or as a woman, full stop. But I had a lot of fun going hard with the guys. So
is that because of the officiating? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean? Because of the officiating, they don't let you just be big and strong in there?
Yes.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Anne-Marie?
Hey, Liz. I'm wondering about the relationship between you and Jisoo, because Jisoo has so much she can learn from you. And years ago, it was tougher to communicate with Jisoo. So kind of how has that blossomed and grown?
Jisoo has come back grown. She's doing hook shots over me, blocking my shot. I don't know what was going on in Korea last year, but she's come back grown and strong and a real killer in the post. So I'm really excited to watch her do her thing. She's been teaching me some Korean words so I can call Bill things without him knowing what I'm actually saying. She told me what crazy is today. So
And what is it?
I'm not going to tell y'all because I'm just going to be saying it.
Oh, you're just going to be calling him crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But she's only 22. It's so exciting to see her do her thing and come back, you know, bigger, better, and stronger. And I see her playing a lot of minutes this season.
And Liz, a follow-up for you. As soon as I mentioned Jisoo's name, your face just split wide open. What is it about her that has your affection?
She's just a beautiful girl inside out, like just the sweetest. She's just so sweet, so innocent. I love her to death. And I'm excited. Like, we outside, we all vaccinated. She's 22. I'm ready to see what she can do out in the clubs. Let's go. She grown now.
Oh no, it's that summer. Thank you, Liz.
Jesse Merrick.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that up, but I'm really curious. You know, we talked about on media day the fact that you showed up for camp on time and went through a full camp. Now that that's in the books, I think I can kind of guess from the look on your face. But where are you at? How do you feel going into the season?
I was kind of mad today. You know, Bill congratulated Destiny on getting for camp. Hey, this was my first camp ever. I was like, where's my love? Hello. 10 years later, I did it. I'm ready to play. It was good, you know, getting back together with the girls, building our chemistry, and I'm just ready to get out there and get on court with the girls.
Awesome. Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.
Last one, because Liz has a hard out. Willie G.
Hey Liz, on media day, Destiny had mentioned that one of the biggest things, if not the biggest, she had to adapt to was going from a point of view from a guard, looking backcourt first to in the WNBA, especially this team, going to the front court.
Yeah.
And a lot of the players had time to see her and her passing skills. Now that you've been through it with her, can you just comment on her vision of the court and that how she's progressed with that front court first mentality?
Yeah, to be honest, I ain't really seen much of Destiny play before camp. This year was the first time I've ever watched March Madness. Like, this is the first time I've ever watched, this year is the first time I've ever watched college basketball. And, you know, I never went to college. I went straight to the league at 19. So it was really dope getting to watch March Madness and get a feel for like the college system. So watching her like come out of there and just as a young player, I think she's adapted really quickly. You know, she's had Plum and Jackie and Angel, you know, vets of the game now to help her, and Bill on her, Bill just tells you what he wants, just straight down the line. So she's gonna fit in the system really well.
Great, thanks Liz. Looking forward to seeing you back on the court tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. We'll let you go.
Thank
ABC
you.
tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific time. We'll see everybody there.
Bye. Thanks so much, Jiggy.